Hey, happy 4th of July, Independence Day. I just feel so free. I'm Spitface, and I'm here with the always classy and always sassy host of this show, the First Lady of Sports Talk, the one and only Cheryl Smith. How are things? You and the First Lady. We hope you taking precautions because we know that Elsa might be heading your way, and we want please take care of you. How are things in Florida going?
Oh, good morning, everyone. And like Spitface just said, happy 4th of July. Yeah, we are in a waiting pattern. I mean, you know how these hurricane goes. You have all these predictions that it's going to hit you or it's not going to bypass you. The only person who knows is the hurricane itself.
Yeah, being in Houston, we feel you. We know something about a hurricane or a tropical storm or even a bad rain. Right. All right, check out the music this week on Shout Out. We are featuring performances from F.L. Jones. Will he find his shining star or get the cold feel of the mute button? I'm still a little chilly from that mute button from the last show, First Lady. I had to step outside, warm on up after that day. It was a cold feeling. But First Lady, we're ready. What you saying?
Each week we try to figure out what is going on in the sports world, not the plays of the week, more like the players of the week. Are they trying to tell us something? So we ask, what you saying? Fly, little birdie, fly. Time keeps on slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping into the future. So I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let the spirit carry me. I want to fly right into the future. The little birdie known as Sha'Carri Richardson wished she could fly far away from a positive marijuana test that will keep her from flying down the track at the Olympics. Unlike many of her male counterparts, when faced with adversity, she stood up, admitted what she had done, and promised to learn from the situation. While demonstrating humility and remorse, could Deshaun Watson and a few others learn from this awesome young lady? Given marijuana does not enhance running performance, what's up? Marvelous Marvin Hagler, rest in peace. Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones Jr., and the Steve Miller Band are asking, what you saying? Yeah, Sha'Carri Richardson, all I can say is, damn. This young lady would have been the next Flojo of the Olympics. But she smoked some weed when she was trying out for the Olympic trials in Oregon a few weeks ago. I'm not sure if she smoked. I couldn't determine if she had smoked weed or she had eaten some marijuana edibles. There's so much things you can do now with marijuana. But anyway, as Stephen A. Smith of ESP would say, stay off the weed. Unfortunately, in Oregon, and I would say unfortunately in this situation because in Oregon, recreational cannabis use and possession is legal for people 21 years and older. They legalized it in July 2016, and like I said, it's unfortunately because Sha'Carri used it. And had the trials been in a state that cannabis was not legal, she would have had a clean test. That's just how unfortunate things are, Spitface. I'm not saying Oregon, because it's legal. And my goodness, I know they got Portland in Oregon, but, I wouldn't think of Oregon as a place to legalize marijuana. That would be the last place I would think that, they would legalize marijuana. But anyways, it is the way it is. Now, Richardson used marijuana as a way to cope with an unexpected death for her biological mother while she was in Oregon. And, Spitface, let me tell you something. She was informed about her mother's death because she was raised by her grandmother. But she learned about the death from a reporter doing an interview. Who the heck is that reporter to spill that news to this young lady while she's in Olympic trials? I mean, I didn't understand what was going on with that reporter. But anyway, she said, quote, it sent me in a state of emotional panic. She also said, I don't know how to control my emotions or deal with my emotions during that time. And, she took the marijuana. Now, Richardson definitely will be, she's not going to be eligible to run the 100 meters. That's like that's a top race. It's very popular, especially from a viewer point of view. But she will not be able to run it because she's going to be suspended for 30 days, and the track and field events begin on July 30th. That's the day scheduled. That's when you have to be through the qualifying rounds. But, it is what it is. The USA track and field procedures are very, very, very strict. There is no bend in it. They say the top 3 performers will go to the event that they are performing in. So because of the positive marijuana test, she was disqualified. So she is not a top 3 finisher. So, I mean, in other countries, I'm quite sure they determine who they want to go to the race, regardless if the person didn't qualify. But not with the United States. United States, no. They got it in their rules, and that's how it is. There's no wiggle room about that situation. Now, the thing is, too, marijuana is on the World Anti-Doping Agency. That's the WADA. It is a prohibited substance. Now, unfortunately, the United States, they follow this rule. So, again, there's no wiggle room about that. Now, well, people are saying they don't agree with it, and they're saying, they should make an exception. I mean, it is what it is. That's the rules, and you have to agree by what rules you set forth. Now, people may not consider marijuana as a performing enhancing drug, but TCH is considered by this sanctioning body to be performance enhancing. Look, I am not an expert on marijuana, so I don't know if it is or if it's not. But the point is, it's on the list. It's a prohibited drug, so it is what it is. Now, if you remember Ben Johnson, well, he definitely used a banned substance on the list, and guess what they did? They took away all of his medals. They revoked them. So athletes should always be aware of what chemicals they are ingesting or smoking. I mean, let's face it, many of these athletes willingly take the risk of performance enhancement, and they know they take it. Now, maybe it wasn't in the case of Richardson. Unfortunately, it was revealed, and I say it again, you must go by the rules. But I applaud her for owning her mistake and trying not to be like Lance Armstrong. You remember when Lance Armstrong finally got caught after years and years of denying and accusing other people? He was a mean son of a you-know-what, because he accused other people and tried to deny and hide the fact that he was using performance-enhancing drugs. So she's not that. She admitted it. And, of course, Deshaun Watson. Now, again, like I said, I was on Deshaun Watson's side. I didn't believe it. But, my goodness, when 20-something women come out, something in the milk ain't clean. You hear me? Something went wrong in those situations. So you have to respect her for being honest. And like she said, I am human. And we all know human beings make mistakes. Spitface, what are you talking about?
Many men, and I'm going to, because I can't speak for the ladies, okay, not in this instant, but there are too many male athletes, at the professional level who have not learned how to step up and be men, and what she does, I was listening to some men talk about Deshaun Watson, and from conspiracy theories, really conspiracy theories, and other conversations, it was like, let me ignore the behavior and present excuses why he should get a pass. And it's like, whoa. As men, you stand, you do it's like they used to say, you do a man's crime, you should be willing to do a man's time. Now, I'm not saying go out and break the law or anything, but you take a grown-up action, okay, a grown-up action, then you should be willing to stand for the results of that action. I didn't say like it. I do not like that the young lady would not be able to compete. I don't like that. I don't like the fact that, for some, I get the reasoning, because it's the past, but it's about time for them to take the marijuana part out of the athletic conversation. And there are reasons I say that, okay? But that does not change the fact that she did what she did, and it cost her. And she is not complaining. She has not even, at least to this point, I don't know, she hasn't even done what you always have them do, which is, okay, we're going to, we get the penalty, but now we're going to pursue an exception. Or we're going to find something where we need to go to court. Or we need, all this stuff when the bottom line is you did what you did and own up to it and move on. Now, First Lady, there are ways to deal with some things. And now I will say that, I'll say creatively, where punishments can be rendered, but still allow the player or the athlete to end up competing. Now, there are some creative ways that do not give the player a pass. And, if for some reasoning there's some scheduling changes that just happen to take her to pass the 30 days before they do certain things in the competition, stranger things have happened in sports, So I wouldn't, if somehow, by surprise, the Olympic Committee decided that we're going to delay such and such to this because we got something under construction with COVID. Now, I could get into that conspiracy theory, but I ain't saying nothing like that, guy. But, it's so refreshing to see someone have some honor. And really, I'm kind of fired up. I'm like, young lady, so many of your male counterparts, but just can't sit up there and go, look, when I think of Deshaun Watson, I think of Michael Vick. And Michael Vick had a good friend. And, I'm not saying running buddies, but he had a good friend. And that good friend was the owner of the Falcons. And when you own up to things, friends can help you. And his friend, multi-billionaire with multi-billionaire friends and connections, asked him, just tell me the truth. What's the deal? Michael Vick could have said to that man, you know what? Man, I had no clue the kind of mess I could get into. I've been doing this thing. I just didn't know. I done literally screwed the pooch. And that billionaire friend of his would have said, oh, I get that. So it is a mess. And it is a mess, but you done told me the deal. Let's see what we can work out here with the whoever's. And when you got multi-billionaire friends who got multi-billionaire friends and connections, well, you going to take some heat. But a whole lot of stuff all of a sudden disappear and go out the news. But see, that's because you got that friend. But when you lie so that you don't have to, so you think you can get away with taking responsibility and minimizing, well, I'll put it like this. It did not work out well for Michael Vick. Now, in the end, he got paid, yeah, but it did not work out well. And, a message to Deshaun. Sometimes it's better to take the heat, get it over with. But message to all you her male counterparts. Maybe it's time for y'all to just own up to whatever crap that you end up doing and saying, you know what? And like she said, hey, I'm human. I make, you know what? In my world, I didn't get it. But see, that would be having you grow up and own, Now, First Lady, now maybe I do not have scientific evidence, but I do have, what do they call that empirical evidence? I ain't know no brother smoke some weed and run faster. Unless they running to the kitchen to grab that chicken wing because they got the munchies. But they really need to look at, because with many athletes, they would rather smoke, ingest, drink, whatever, than take some of the legal medications that get prescribed for them. That's all I'm saying, First Lady. And kudos to Miss Richards.
Yeah. Would you say you don't know anybody that runs fast?
Wait, to the kitchen. To the kitchen to get some munchies. About as fast as they go.
Yeah, number one, okay, I think I said TCH and his THC is the substance.
Yeah, THC. But anyway, you ain't do I got this burst in at your head. Man, let me try to get,
right.
But
anyway,
the women, too, they be the H out of our show.
Yeah. But there is some good news. She might be able to be on the team to run in the relay, because by the time the relay starts, her suspension would be over, because she has a 30-day suspension. And another thing with the relay team, the top 3 players have to definitely be on the team, but you always know it takes 4 people to run the relay, so they still have to put additional players on the team for the relay, and so therefore she can be on that team. So we'll see. It's going to be up to the committee. So, but yeah, like you said, kudos to her. She stood in her truth, and she didn't try to blame anybody else for it. Lance Armstrong. All right, over to you, Spitface.
Deshaun Watson. Don't call it come back. I've been here for years, rocking my fears and putting suckers in fear, making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom. Explosion, overpowering, over the competition, I'm towering. Record shop when I drop these lyrics that'll make you call the cops. Don't you dare stare, you better move. Don't ever compare me to the rest that all get sliced and diced. Competition paying the price. I'm gonna knock you out, huh? Mama said knock you out, huh? And, First Lady, I saw a throwback video of LL Cool J the other day. And, I had forgot, what the brother looked like back in them days. Because, now I guess he NCIS SEAL or something, or one of them crime shows, busting down doors. And, I was just going, I was looking at him. And I looked at him on that television show, and I'm gonna tell you, I cannot watch that show without laughing. Every movie he just cracks me up. But that's a different conversation. Go LL. Who would have thunk? Now we Mom said, we are talking about the knockout punch to the Atlanta Hawks. Sorry, my ATL fans, by the Bucks ending the series 4-2. Are the Bucks a better matchup for the Suns than Atlanta? If Giannis remains injured, do the Bucks have a snowball's chance in hell of winning the series? Giannis scored 40 points twice against the Suns. Will he do it again? Should a certain coach of the Atlanta Hawks get an immediate, long-term deal? Leroy Satchel Page, Walter Buck Leonard, and James School Papa Bell are asking, what you saying? First lady, I rather like the Bucks Hawks series, and if it had went 7, that would have been like great, because I kind of liked it. I liked the little series, but it's just like Trey got hurt and Giannis got hurt, and they still played. It was like you kind of wish that they'd been able to play a little bit longer. Now, I think the Suns, Atlanta would have been a better matchup for the Suns, because then they probably would have swept them. They probably would have scrapped them. Suns say, shoot, bring Atlanta on. We going to play shooting? We are from the West. We can put up points all over. You mean we ain't even got to worry about defense. We could just shoot, So the Suns would have loved having Atlanta come in. Go ahead, score, boys, because we got people who shoot all day long, Now, but the Bucks are the tougher matchup. But Atlanta would have been the better matchup for the Suns, unless Giannis, for some reason doesn't come back, or is hurt, because really the Bucks have one superstar, and that's him. But man, is he doing it now? But they do not have a snowball's chance in hell of winning the series. With him in or with him out. What they have with him in is a chance to not get swept. Now, Giannis scored 40 points twice against the Suns. Will he do it again? I think it's a matter of health. If he, this injury he's had, if he, is fully restored, he gonna get his. But that don't mean they're gonna win. But he gonna get in. Now, that certain coach for Atlanta, sign him. Hurry, run to get a long term. Sign. Get him. First lady, what you saying?
Well, what can I say? The Bucks, to me, were a much better team than the Hawks. I mean, this series should not have even lasted 6 games, but the Bucks didn't play well in Game 4, and the Bucks were, Bucks overmatched the Hawks in the paint if the Bucks played the right way. So sometimes the Bucks fall in love with a 3-point shot too much, and that's the reason why they're not good at times. Now, the Hawks had no chance of winning without a healthy Trae Young, even though they won the game. I think they won Game 4 without him. Like I said, it was more of what the Bucks didn't do than what the Hawks did. So if and I give Trae credit for coming out and giving it a try, but he really definitely was not himself. Now, in regards to Nate McMillan, he should get a contract immediately. But there's some little rumors out there that don't automatically assume that Nate wants wants to be the Hawks' permanent coach either. It's going to boil down to what offers when it comes to money the Hawks are willing to pay. And Nate is Nate deserves top dollars for what he was able to accomplish with this team. But the Hawks' history speaks for itself. They don't pay well. So it's going to be interesting to see. Now, the Bucks have a better team this year than they did last year, and that's why they were, they overhauled their team. We talked about this before. They overhauled their entire team to strengthen their bench, and Bobby Portis and T.J. Tucker were big pickups, extremely big pickups. Now, are the Bucks a better matchup for the Suns than Atlanta? I think so, because the Bucks are bigger than the Suns. Now, if the Bucks and Coach Budenholzer, I think that's his name, something like that, if they concentrate on scoring in the paint, then the Bucks will have a big advantage over the Suns. The Hawks play a similar style of game to the Suns, and I think the Suns are much better at the run and gun style, and they probably would have beaten the Hawks. You say swept in 4. I give the Hawks in 5 games. I think the Hawks would have at least won 1 game against the Sun. But however, as far as the Bucks, I think the series would be definitely more competitive. Again, that's only if the Bucks play to their strength over the Suns. Now, again, all of this is based off of Giannis playing at 90%. Because, if he's healthy, I think Giannis can score 40 points because I truly do, because the Suns do not have anyone on their team to stop him. The only person that can stop him probably is Cam Johnson, but he's smaller than Giannis, but he probably will be their best defender against Giannis, but he doesn't start. If you look at the Suns starting lineup, they have a problem because they start 4 small people with the exception of DeAndre Ayton. But the Bucks have Brook Lopez and they have Giannis. So it's going to be a matchup problem because if Ayton takes care of Giannis, if he guards Giannis, that leaves Mikal Bridges or Jay Crowder on Lopez. So it's going to be a battle of styles as far as I'm concerned. Will the Suns be able to get an advantage with their small lineup? Because, of course, somebody has to guard their small people. You got Brook Lopez guarding somebody small. I don't worry about Giannis guarding anybody small because he can handle that. But the problem is Brook Lopez. He's not going to be able to handle that. But then again, if he plays big, will the Suns be able to handle him? So that's what it's going to be, a game of sizes. And the Bucks, to me, if they play the game to their strength, being their height and their low post presence, they can win this series. I still think the series will go either 6 or 7. I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk for neither team. So it's going to go 6 or 7. But to me, it's almost a pick 'em but I still give the advantage to the Milwaukee Bucks. That's all I'm saying, Spitface.
Yeah, but what does Dizzy Mack say over in the Bearskin Rug?
Hey,
it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one. But I think it's going to go 7 because they're going to go back and forth. And, I think Andrew Giannis just will not, play well. If he even plays at all. Because, again, they got to get that knee back. And he's got to be able to do what he normally does. And you got CT3, and you got Devin Booker. So Holiday can only hold one. He can only guard one of them at a time. So you're going to probably want to put him on Devin Booker. And that CT3, do what he does. Because, again, you don't have to let one man destroy the other team. And the other man is going to be held down.
All right. First Lady, any final word?
I'm looking forward to it. And like I said, I think it's a great day because it's been 10 years since we have not had either LeBron James or Steph Curry in the finals. Can you imagine that? 10 years. They had been in either one of them had been in the final for 10 straight years. So this is a breath of fresh air as far as I'm concerned.
Sound like you still got hope for them Knicks. All right, First Lady, take us to break.
You said I still got hope for the Knicks.
Next season.
Yeah, next season. All right. Coming up on our break, it's time. Stay tuned. Coming up next, we'll have a performance on. I apologize. I didn't have Computer issues here. Stay tuned to our next performance from Flo Jones on Shout Out Part 1. FL Jones. That's FL Jones.
The music flows in from around the globe to get a shout out from the panel. First Lady, I can't wait to hear the music from F.L. Jones.
On Shout Out, we feature new independent artists who are looking to find their shining star. If we like what we hear, we'll give the track a shout out. If we don't like it, we hit the mute. Today we are featuring music from F.L. Jones. His hometown is Los Angeles, and he says, quote, R&B electronic DIY soul artist from Los Angeles, California. Blend of classic soul, compelling songwriting, and electronic, organic tapestry. Excuse me. I'm sorry, organic tapestry. All right, DJ, let's hear Revival.
I tried to be open, understand broken, and compromise. But you were so angry when I refused to be crucified. Now your castle is crumbled, you're truly tumbled from up on high. Yeah, and I can't believe you refuse to see your part in your demise. So you need a revival. Anyone can see you need a revival. 'Cause it's a soul emergency. Baby, please, somebody needs to lay some hands on you. 'Cause I'm not sticking around to see you through. 'Cause you know you got some work to do, and you need a revival, yeah. First you stopped calling, then blame me for falling on the ice. Call me a hero, then graded a 0 with HD line. I don't need your sympathy, but you should know empathy is not a vice. Still you refuse to see the insanity you bring to others' lives. So you need a revival. Anyone can see you need a revival. 'Cause it's a soul emergency. Baby, please, somebody needs to lay some hands on you. I'm not sticking around to see you through. 'Cause you know you got some work to do, and you need a revival, yeah. Yeah. I tried to be open, honest and broken, and compromise. But you were so angry when I refused to be crucified. Now your castle is crumbled, you're truly tumbled from up on high. Yeah, I can't believe you refuse to see your part in your demise. So you need a revival. Anyone can see a revival. 'Cause it's a soul emergency. Baby, please, somebody needs to lay some hands on you. 'Cause I'm not sticking around to see you through. 'Cause you know you got some work to do, and you need a revival. Somebody needs to lay some hands on you. 'Cause I'm not sticking around to see you through. 'Cause you know you got some work to do, and you need a revival. Somebody needs to lay some hands on you. 'Cause I'm not sticking around to see you through. 'Cause you know you got some work to do, and you need a revival.
Right. Okay. That was F.L. Jones. I'm definitely going to shout it out. I love the voice. Very nice voice. He and the music and the track just goes along with his voice. And I just enjoy a very good song, excellent song. All right, Dizzy Mac, you shouting it out? Or you going to hit the mute button?
Yeah, I'm giving a shout out. I'm giving a shout out on that one. Strong voice. Definitely like to hear, some vocalists stretch them pipes.
All right. Bitface, you hitting the mute or you shouting it out?
But I'm glad that he warmed things up because it was awfully cold after last week. The mutes was fine. I'm shouting it out.
All right. On part 2 of Shout Out, we'll have another performance. Can't wait, from F.L. Jones. Hey, we can't wait. It's time. You know what time it is. Is that the sound of my favorite underwater friend? Is it time for Flip It?
All right. Flipper, all happy to see Dizzy Mac. Dizzy brought him a couple of wild tunas, and so Flipper is all excited to see Dizzy Mac in that bear skin robe. All right, now, Flipper, don't get greedy. And, he bought you a whole case. So, but it's time for Flip It, where our hosts defend a view and flip the script and defend the opposing view. The Olympics is starting in a few weeks, and the U.S. basketball team has rounded out. Will they bring home the gold? Defend. What could go wrong? Is Harden on the team? They will bring home the silver. I'm looking at this USA basketball team, and sometimes you have to get smacked down a little bit to take you off your high horse. And the U.S., of course, hey, look, we take it for granted that we have the best players in the world. We take that for granted. The best players. Sure, we got a few of them sprinkled in from international in the NBA, but by far, all the best talent is with the USA. Now, I think the problem with that viewpoint is that we look at it, that we got all these players in the USA and they the greatest ones, but we forget that they are all in the USA. So naturally, an organization that basically recruits players from their own country is going to have a lot of the greatest players from their own country. But it's a big world out there. And as Allen Iverson learned with his USA team, when you go in there thinking, knowing, because you know who you are, that you're going to do that, you come home with silver. And I think that the USA team might be a little big-headed, and I foresee a stumble. They will bring home silver. Dizzy Mac, please defend. And they got Harden on the team.
Yeah, they got Harden on the team. If he plays the way that he has played the last 3-4 years, they won't even medal.
Ooh.
They won't even medal. Because he'll just dominate the ball too much. And really just not get into the flow. They'll wait till the last 2 minutes and try to turn it on, and it'd be too little too late. I liked Harden better when he was at Arizona State.
Oh man.
when he was, playing as a collegiate, doing his thing and scoring. But playing team basketball in a way where the ball found him instead of him, instead of you finding him with the ball all the time. I think he's just not built for Olympic type basketball. Listening to coaches, I just don't think that he will be able to mesh what he does well in an Olympic arena. So if he's on the team, you may see them come back with nothing.
Come back with nothing. All right, we got the First Lady.
Well, obviously, yeah, like you said, if Harden is on the team, but I think he turned it down. But if he were on the team, you're right. His style of play is not built for the Olympics, because Olympics is more of a team, a passing game, team basketball. We all know James Harden likes to dribble, and he's a gunner. So that style of play is not conducive for team basketball in the Olympics. Now, also the problem for the U.S. team is they don't have LeBron or Steph Curry. They chose not to be on the team. So this team is not going to be as outstanding as they have been in the past. And like similar to what you're saying, Spitface, they used to think that they could beat everybody. It didn't matter who was on the team. But you want to know something? It does matter who is on the team, because, you got to be able to beat these international teams, because these international teams are getting better. Remember, all of the international players that are great play in the NBA. And so we know how great they are, and so many teams that are great. And, we have good people on the team. We have scorers. KD is on the team, Damian Lillard, Zach LaVine, Devin Booker. But I have a problem with this team, because one of the problems is that these type of players are players that get their shot off of their own dribble or their own moves. I don't see them to be that much of catch and shoot type of players. And when you play in the Olympic, like I said, the style is so much different. You do have to play more team passing the ball, and you have to be a catch and shoot type of player. And that was the reason why the Olympics, I believe it was Olympics, or it was the FIBA championship, that the U.S. team, they lost to France. And that's because they didn't have that many great outside shooters. And when you play in the Olympics, you need players that can shoot outside. And, Harden, like I said, if he's going to be on the team, but from my understanding, he's not going to be on the team. But to be honest with you, if he were to be on the team, I know they would be bringing home a silver.
All right. And we are not Harden bashing. We are not Harden bashing, even though the Nets. Well, that's a different story. Okay, we go flip the script. The thing, fortunately, even with Harden on the team, it's not the playoffs, so he won't disappear. They dominate and bring home the gold. Now, but I think one of the things about the U.S. team is that they have coaches, and their coaches know how to adjust and balance the playoff. Because it's not, as First Lady mentioned, in the international game, it really is more about how you can balance your team than individual stars who dominate. And the coaches for Team USA know how to make those adjustments. Also, you have players who have a a really sour taste in their mouth because they got bounced out of the playoffs. KD. So, since they've been bounced out of the playoffs, they want to win something. So they will dominate and bring home the gold. But Dizzy Matt, do not give Flipper another tuna. Defend. Getting Flipper fat.
Hey, that's my boy. I think being able to have one of the greatest scorers on your team in Durant gives you an advantage. When you need offense, go to Durant, and he's not going to disappoint in that area, and he's a willing passer if they try to double team him. They're able to spread the floor, and they got the type of guys who will attack the rim and rock the rim. And that's what you need. Because then, if they come out on you, stop the outside shot, you can always drive past them, and you got the advantage 2-on-1, 3-on-2 to be able to make, living at the line something that you can easily, gain points from with the other team in foul trouble. Make the game easier, make the game a lot more collectively fun. You got players who can come in waves and duplicate the same thing, do the same game plan without having to really alter it too much. I think when you look at the U.S. team, I'm kind of excited. But again, this is a young team, got some veterans mixed in, but you're able to navigate onto a new landscape by working with Team USA. I'm USA, Team USA. You're able to, work your magic without ending up trash.
All right, we heard the defense from the bearskin rug, slipping another tuna to Flipper, First Lady.
But, the U.S. team is a great team regardless of who's there on the team. Now, this will be the first year that Greg Popovich will be the head coach. You remember Mike Krzyzewski always was the coach of the U.S. basketball team. So for me, Popovich is definitely the right coach for this team because he demands the team to play a team basketball. He's going to coach them the way he coaches the Spurs. The Spurs always play great team basketball, and defense was their number one point of reference. So this is what Popovich could bring to this team. Now, we got players on the team that can dominate the play. You talk about KD. He's a sniper. So we don't have to worry about these players not being able to play team basketball because Coach Popovich will put them in situations and give them plays that they can play a team basketball. But, of course, when you need somebody to get a basket, man, they got KD, Damian Lillard, Zach LaVine, Devin Booker. All of them are capable of scoring when you need a basket. So it's going to be a mixture of the team being able to play one-on-one, but for the most part, Greg Popovich, he's going to have this team in winning situations. And, he's ready to take over. He wanted to show that he can do it just as Mike Krzyzewski could do it. So I look for this team to get gold, and the United States will be back on top again when it comes to international play.
All right. On that note, First Lady, let's not play. Take us to break.
Stay tuned. Coming up next, the funnies and our favorite underwater friend on Flip It Part 2. Dribble, dribble, dribble.
Free Mr. Vine.
Welcome back. You are still listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. It's time for the funnies. Spitface, over to you.
All right, First Lady. Now, 88-year-old man allegedly feels tickled after murdering his roommate, wants to urinate on his grave. Oh, God. Larry Shaw allegedly killed his younger roommate, Kenny Barnes, after he'd asked him to do chores. Following years of apparent contemplation, an 88-year-old Southwest Missouri man allegedly murdered a man he disliked, his roommate. Larry Shaw has been charged with first-degree murder following the fatal shooting of 52-year-old Kenny Barnes at a home in Ozark. Investigators said Shaw lived with Barnes for 6 or 7 years. Court documents indicate that Shaw told investigators he was tired of Barnes' vulgar language and how he treated him. The police said Shaw told them he'd had enough after Barnes told him to do some chores Wednesday morning. He allegedly got a handgun and waited in a recliner for 3 hours before the shooting. The gun had been stored between cushions of the couch, according to a probable cause statement obtained by Christian County Headliner News. Court documents state that Shaw told police he was kind of tickled that he shot Barnes. Furthermore, he expressed no apparent remorse in police interviews following the shooting. Shaw allegedly told police that he wanted to urinate on Barnes' grave. Detectives wrote that Larry allegedly made it clear that he was glad he was dead. Shaw appears to be possibly smirking in his mugshot. Police say Shaw shot Barnes once in the chest. They found Barnes lying dead outside of the home. It's unclear if the two are related or were anything beyond roommates. Shaw is being held in the Christian County Jail without bond. He does not have an attorney listed for this case. Old man said, I ain't taking this no more. You don't want to do your chores? Fire! Oh, my God. Fire! Down and water splashing everywhere must be time for our favorite underwater friend, First Lady. It's time for Flip It.
Who will have the better year two of their career, Joe Burrow or Justin Herbert? Panel defend. Joe Burrow played well on a bad team. He will have a better sophomore season. Defend. All right, Dizzy Mac, defend.
Oh, yeah, Joe Burrow didn't have the supporting cast last year. Unfortunately, he had the ACL. This year, we will have another supporting cast. Jamar Chase helps. He helps with the receiving end and also familiarity that they went through at LSU together. So you have the chemistry already with somebody coming in. And I think, again, his overall ability to learn and build from year one will help. He'll make sure that, hey, we have a better year. Justin Herbert, I think, will continue to build. He's able to, I think he'll be able to withstand and handle the pressures playing out there in L.A., home of Hollywood stars, all of that, but he'll get some help and he'll continue to make plays. And he actually, kept his turnover rate down, and I think he'll build on that. And having a father that's a former quarterback, former NFL quarterback, will only help make his maturation process a lot smoother and a lot doable. But yeah, I think both are heading in the right direction. They just have to put in the work, stay away from injury.
All right, both of them got to put in the work. All right, Spitface, defend.
Joe Burrow was on track to be the NFL Rookie of the Year, playing on a bad team, and and Justin played on a much better team, and so because the Bengals, that's why they had the number one pick, because they did not have such a great team to work with. Now the Joe Burrow was already a better quarterback than Justin Herbert. Joe Burrow was already better. He just played on a team that, was not so great. Now, one of the, now teams have tape on Justin. And what I expect is that tape on Justin will allow them to make some adjustments where Justin will have more of a sophomore slump than Joe Burrow. Now, Justin will probably have a good year, a good campaign, and steadily progress, but I think the slump, that sophomore slump, because now they've made that adjustment, and you got to really grow. Now, Joe Burrow, now you can say, well, look, now there's tape on Joe. But the benefit for Joe is that, yes, he got hurt, but he started. He got they got tape on him, but now he can watch the tape himself and see where can I improve? So I think Joe is going to improve faster than Justin. And Justin's going to have a little bit of that sophomore slump. And but I look for Joe Burrow to have the better sophomore season.
All right. Well, Joe Burrow was playing the best of all the rookies until he got hurt. And, that was one of the problems. He was the best quarterback in the league, and he was actually almost playing just as great as Patrick Mahomes. But when he got hurt, it was because their team, the Bengals didn't have a great offensive line. Now, that was one of the things that they corrected during the draft, so I expect Burrows to be fully recovered. Matter of fact, they said he is so far ahead of schedule. He will be starting the season, which is amazing. But the one thing about Burrows, he can play freely this season because he hasn't really there's nothing expected of him. And the fact that there's nothing expected of him, that's going to make him play freely. But when it comes to Herbert, even though Herbert had a breakout season last year, it was a surprise to a lot of people because, like you said, Herbert really wasn't expected to play well because Burrows was the better quarterback. But now everybody expects him to play well. There's going to be greater expectations on Herbert because the team is expected to do much, much better than Burrow's team. So, therefore, when you have expectations, that comes responsibility and it comes a lot of pressure. So there's going to be more pressure on Herbert. And so this is the reason why I think Joe Burrow will definitely have a much, much better sophomore season than Justin Herbert. But this is Flip It, so panel defend. Justin Herbert is on a better team. Everyone is adapting to him playing. He will have better sophomore campaign. Spitface defend.
Justin, I had to give advantage to Justin Herbert, and mainly because he is on a better team. Overall, he's on a playoff team, and so his opportunities to play well and for his stats to show well, and for him to avoid a sophomore slump, are much better. Joe Burrow, I say, is the better quarterback. but he's still playing on a team that's got a lot of work to do. And they made some off-season moves. They made some good drafts, but it's going to take a minute for them to gel together. So if we switch teams, if Justin Herbert was on the Bengals, I don't think he'd be doing so well, But Joe Burrow would be playing lights out. So Justin got the advantage of being on, one, catching everybody by surprise, and two, being able, just being on a better team overall. So his stats, his opportunities are just so much greater that he will have the better sophomore campaign.
Okay, all right. Dizzy Mac, defend.
Well, Justin is stay consistent, true to himself, because again, he's going to keep his turnover low. He uses heat to his advantage, and he'll be able to rest on his defense to keep them in games. If he can keep them close, they could probably win some games that I think Joe Burrow may not be able to win, as he's trying to deal with a team that's still a little bit under construction, still a little bit away. I think Justin Herbert has a top 15 defense at least, not top 10. I think he's able to make sure that he's able to, keep his team in the game by not committing turnovers. So Joe Burrow will have to force the ball down the field, which will, I think, increase his chances for turnovers. So yeah, it's gonna be tough. But I think Justin Herbert will have a better sophomore campaign.
All right, Dizzy Mac. Well, let me just put it this way. We all know Justin Herbert definitely had a spectacular rookie season, and everybody's wondering if he's going to have a sophomore slump, because it's real. Many quarterbacks have had that sophomore slump, but I don't think Justin Herbert is going to have a sophomore slump, because let's look at it, this situation. Justin Herbert had an excellent season. He only can get better to improve, because he really shocked everybody with his season that he had. And let's face it, the Chargers are a better team. The Chargers have made significant off-season additions. They shored up their offensive line. So, I mean, that's another thing. When you shore up that offensive line, that means he'll have better protections, and they're going to help him better. I mean, they really shored up that offensive line, and they've replaced a lot of their starters on the offensive line with young talent. So that's a number one reason why Justin Herbert is going to have a much better sophomore season, number one. And also, I hate to say this, but they got a new coach, and I'm not hating against Anthony Lynn, but Anthony Lynn, to me, when it came to offense, he kind of actually held Justin Herbert back a little bit, if you want to be honest with it, some of his decisions that he's made. So there is going to be a new coach who is an offensive-minded coach. So that's another one reason why Justin Herbert is going to have a better season than Joe Burrow. Now, Joe Burrow, he's coming off of an ACL injury, and I know he's doing real well. He's ahead of the game, but I'm sorry. When you have an ACL injury, he's going to be a little bit hesitant in his approach to the game. You know, he was a good running type of quarterback, so you have to think that he's going to be fearful and play with some hesitation. And even though the Bengals, they shored up their line a little bit, it's not enough as far as I'm concerned. So Justin Herbert has a better offensive line, a better team. Joe Burrow, yeah, he's still with the Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, what can you say? This team hasn't been great. It's still not great. And he can put up some numbers, but he's not going to have meaningful numbers, and that's the important thing. He won't have meaningful numbers, and there's still a slight possibility that he's going to continue to get sacked the way he did in his rookie season, which caused his ACL tear. So I'm sorry, Justin Herbert will definitely have a better sophomore season. All right, Spitface, please take us to break.
On the other side of the break, we have another performance from F.L. Jones on Shout Out Part 2. Please, please, please keep those ears on those speakers and stay tuned.
You are listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. It's time for Shout Out Part 2, the picks and the finale. The music flows from around the globe to get a shout-out from the crew. Spitface, over to you.
All right. We have another performance from F.L. Jones. DJ, let's hear Love Song for the Panic. Oh, no. Let's hear it.
So symptomatic, this automatic love song. You're like a black coffee, so nutty, not too sweet. You drip right through me to brighten my day. You're like a sativa, so pungent your leaves are my sticky slow creeper with so much to say. You're like a credit card, no limits too far, designed to be rode hard until you're all spent. And it's clear to see that if you were to leave, I won't be the same me. No, I'd be a mess. You know it's all so symptomatic, and this automatic love song for the panic. Please understand it, I can love you, not more than I love myself. You know it's all so symptomatic, this automatic love song for the panic. Beyond the static, I can love you, not more than I love myself. You're like Bacardi, so smooth and so naughty. You made me feel foggy, I guess that's okay. You're like my porno, 4 times a day peep show. No worries, like Nero, for the time we waste. You're like my LSD, oh how you control me. Conditioned to believe that everything's fine. Sometimes the cracks show, sometimes I just don't know if you still will say so when I cross the line. You know it's all so symptomatic, and this automatic love song for the panic. Please understand it, I can love you, not more than I love myself. You know it's all so symptomatic, and this automatic love song for the panic. Beyond the static, I can love you, not more than I love myself. It's all so symptomatic, this automatic love song for the panic. Please understand it, I can love you, not more than I love myself.
All right, that was Love Song for the Panic. It's the track getting a shout out of the mute button. First Lady, what's the verdict?
I'm shouting it out. I mean, F.L. Jones can sing. I mean, really, he can sing, and both songs were excellent. Nice clarity with his voice. The tracks, the musical portion matches the voice. I mean, what can you say? I just say shout it out, F.L. Jones. I would love to hear more of your music. Definitely a shout out.
Sound like F.L. got a fan. All right. Dizzy Mac. Love song for the Panic.
Hey, even the Panic got to have a love song. I think he hit that one, hit that nail right on the head. And I think, like First Lady said, his voice and the music match, and they both were pretty strong. So I'm giving a shout out.
Dizzy Mac, it was kind of cold in here last week. Let me tell you. It was cold feeling the mute button last week. So, FL, thank you for warming us up, brother. Because we need to, it's the 4th of July. We want to get our energy up and all of that. So thanks for breaking the ice because it was chilly. I'm giving it a shout-out. Now, that is the end of shout-out. If you liked what you heard from F.L. Jones, check him out at fljones.com. And Old Grumpy Radio. If you'd like to be heard or have any comments, please send your emails and tracks to content@oldgrumpyradio.com. First Lady, back to you.
It's time for the hardwood picks. Who will wear the hardwood crown? Well, unfortunately, our production assistants, they've been very busy, Spitface. They've been working on our new website and everything, so they do not have our result. They'll have it next week. So we're going to move right on. Thank you, production assistants. All right, we got an optional bonus bet, maximum $5 million. Suns will out rebound the Bucks. All right, Suns will out-rebound the Bucks. All right, I'm going to take $5 million on this. $5 million points. I wish it were $5 million. I am going to say no. Definitely not. All right, Dizzy Mac, what do you say? And how much?
Hey, well, I'm going to take the max. $5 million, and I'm going to say no.
All right, Spitface?
I'm going to take the Suns for $1 million.
Okay, so you say yes, $1 million. All right. Giannis will score more than 35 points in at least one game. All right, Dizzy Mac, what do you say?
I'm saying he will be healthy, and I'm going $5 million on Giannis.
All right, Dizzy Mac, your voice changed, but that's okay. Spitface, we'll go with what you said. So you're going to say You say $1 million?
No, $5 million on Giannis.
$5 million on Giannis. Okay. Dizzy Mac?
I'm going to say $5 million to say no.
Yes, I'm going to say $5 million, and I'm going to say no also. I mean, this week I don't think so, because we really don't know how he's going to play, so to be honest with that, we really don't know. Okay, moving along. Suns, more steals than Bucks. Okay, Dizzy Mac, you go first this time.
I'm gonna go with the 5, run the max, and say no.
Okay, so you say, and that's 5 max, Dizzy Mac. All right. I'm going to go with, I will say yes to this. I believe the Suns will have more steals than the Bucks, and I'm going to go 5 max. All right, Spitface.
I'm going Suns, and I'm going with the 5 max.
Yeah, you're going to say yes. Yeah, because the way the Bucks turned the ball over, my goodness. All right. Bucks more three-pointers scored than the Suns. Whew. Both of these teams are three-shooting. They shoot a lot of three-points. But I'm going to say, the Bucks, this is a tough one. And the reason why it's tough because the Bucks put up three-pointers, but they don't always do well with making them. See, that's the whole point. Now, the Suns are a little bit better shooters, so I don't think they put as much as the Bucks will do, but I'm going to say no, but I'm only going to bet $3 million. All right, Dizzy Mac?
I'm going to bet the Max. Let's say that the Bucks will shoot more threes, make more threes.
Okay. Spitface?
I'm going $1 million.
All right, you're going with the percentage because they do put up a whole bunch. But you know what I said earlier? They don't need to play that way. All right, Suns will lead the Bucks. Okay, Suns will lead the Bucks. All right, Spitface.
Suns will lead the Bucks.
How much?
No, it's not a how much. Is it? That's
no,
not
excuse me.
an
I'm sorry. You're right. It's not.
Yeah.
So
Suns will
yeah.
lead
So
the
you're
Bucks.
saying Suns will lead the Bucks. All right.
Yep.
I'm gonna say yes. Suns will lead the Bucks. Dizzy Mac.
I'm going to say the Max. I'm going to say the Bucks will lead the Suns.
All right. Okay, you say the Max. Well, no, it's not the Max. It's a $5 million for the correct answer, minus $5 million for the incorrect answer. So Dizzy Max says the Bucks. You said the Bucks or the Suns? I'm sorry.
Bucks.
Oh, Suns. Okay,
No, I said Bucks.
Oh, Bucks. Okay, I could. Bucks. All right. Can't hear this morning. Okay, moving along. All right, what is the top story to watch? All right, Dizzy Mac, what is your top story to watch this week?
The top story to watch will be whether or not Giannis can play.
That is the top story. All right, Spitface, what is your top story of the week?
I'm looking at, I think my top story of the week is the contract situation for the coach of the Hawks.
Okay, that is your top story. My top story of the week is when will the Pelicans and the Wizards pick an NBA coach? That's what I want to know. And so are they waiting for Nate McMillan? If you notice, neither one of them have already had picked the coach, and it's been a while. So that's why I wonder if they're waiting for Nate McMillan. All right. In July, we celebrate Independence Day, of course, July 4th, 1776, when it was the birth of our nation. But also in July, a lot of things happened for women's rights and for women in general. July 19th through the 20th, 1848, was the first women's rights movement. So that's important. July 2nd, Susan B. Anthony, July 2nd, 1979, Susan B. Anthony dollar was released. July 2nd, 1964, President Lyndon Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act. Title 7 prohibits sex discrimination in employment. That was a big thing for women. Also, in July 6, 1957, Althea Gibson becomes the first African-American woman to play in Wimbledon during the tennis singles. July 7, 1981, President Reagan nominates Sandra Day O'Connor as the first woman to serve on the Supreme Court, to be on the Supreme Court. Wow. And July 12, 1984, Representative Geraldine Ferrara is chosen as the first female to run for Vice President of the United States on the Democratic Party ticket with Walter Mondale. So July is a very, very significant month for the women's movement. All right, shout out to the Veteran Women's Enterprise Center, our partners in empowering our women warriors fighting the business battle. Visit them at veteranwomen'sec.org. That's veteranwomen'sec.org. We have upgraded our new website, Bras, Panties, and Sports.com, to service you better. Again, let me repeat it. Bras, Panties, and Sports.com. This is Cheryl Smith, the First Lady of Sports Talk, Spitface, and welcome back our good friend, Dizzy Mack. You have been listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. Happy 4th of July.